Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to join us this afternoon for a press briefing on something that is very, very exciting about work that has culminated and is culminating today, has been going on for the past 18 months in our community, and that is to develop a brand and a brand statement for Fairfield and for the Convention and Visitors Bureau. I'd like to start by introducing the two great leaders behind this effort, Rustin Lippincott, the director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Terry Baker, also with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. The Bureau has done such an incredible job over the past 6 or 7 years in promoting Fairfield and creating an ambiance and an attraction and networking with all of the wonderful activities that go on in our community to create a buzz around Fairfield as a tourism destination. What we believed was the next step and what they identified and really drove this process was to create a brand that would unify all of those different elements. So it's really because of the great work that they've done that we are here today. We want to thank the Fairfield Economic Development Association, the Jefferson County Health Center, the Fairfield Chamber of Commerce for their support of more than 18 months in this process. Fairfield continues to make investments in our amenities to support quality of life for our residents and attractions for our visitors. This beautiful Arts and Convention Center, including the Stephen Sondheim Center for the Performing Arts, in the coming year will celebrate its 10th anniversary. We've just recently opened up the new Cambridge Sportsplex and outdoor pool. We are doing more enhancements in our downtown with our facade restoration, and Maharishi University of Management continues to invest in their students for tomorrow's Fairfield. Fairfield is also enjoying a growing reputation as a center for culture, arts, music, sustainable living. We are recognized as an Iowa Blue Zone, an Iowa Great Place. The Jefferson County Health Center, Cambridge Investment Research, Libertyville Savings Bank have all been a part of our wellness initiatives, and so many things that we do in this community identify us in a way that is special. Our Convention and Visitors Bureau is our destination marketing leader that tells the story of Fairfield's brand. The brand provides an umbrella under which unique and authentic aspects of our community are represented. So what is place branding? This is the description of the process that we went through and the experts that we brought in to help us create place branding and an identity. So a place brand makes and fulfills a value promise. It is a unique blend of physical, intangible, and emotional qualities that clearly differentiate Fairfield from other choices. So what we choose to say about ourselves, how we choose to say it, how we choose to visually express that is fulfilled by this value promise. It acts as a guidance system to prioritize and influence every message, process, decision, communication, and investment that shapes the identity of Fairfield. Makes it sound pretty serious. Branding can be considered to be an art and science of orchestrating the distinctive messages and experiences that we most want associated with Fairfield to ensure they are unifying, compelling, and rewarding as possible. We believe we are that kind of community already, but putting together the branding elements that will express that in a coherent way is why we undertook this process, and we're very, very happy with the results. So why does Fairfield need a brand? Competition between places has never been more intense. What our target audiences think about Fairfield directly impacts whether they will visit, move, study, or do more here. The Fairfield brand provides a unifying umbrella to consistently present the city's leading strengths, experiences, words, imagery, products, and distinctive character. The Fairfield brand statement is, are we providing what we say we are providing? Is what we are providing what we really should be providing? To answer these questions, we engaged a Madison, Wisconsin-based organization called Zeitgeist Consulting, DMO Pros, to conduct a community assessment. This took place in 2015. You'll all recall that we had members visit our community unannounced to give their impressions about what they found here. There were very high positives in that, but there were also some areas that we needed to work to strengthen. The team visited hotels, restaurants, shops, attractions, trails. In general, navigated around the community. They experienced First Friday's Art Walk, a poetry reading, open mic events. They chatted with locals and did all the things that a visitor coming to Fairfield would do. To be attractive and competitive, cities like Fairfield must constantly adhere to their challenging, competitive environment. They have to do this while maintaining a balance with the values and vision of their residents. Fairfield is competing for relevance, respect, and reputation against an abundance of similar places in the Midwest. In this environment, branding provides the most effective means to set us apart from other choices. Fairfield has set the course for the future to attract visitors and is positioned well to be a place for new residents and businesses to consider. The assessment identified several positives and some areas for consideration of improvement or changes. Outdoor dining, improved and increased signage, emphasizing retail on our square, continued to capitalize and promote arts, culture, and music scene, enhance the appearance with planters and more inviting approaches, expand the Arts and Convention Center's reach and use. Community assessment revealed suggestions to improve visitors' perceptions and experience and develop and refresh the brand identity. Initial discussions regarding establishing a new tourism brand involved 20-member brand advisory committee and expanded to the contracting of total destination marketing from Portland, Oregon. Bill Baker, the chief strategist for Total Destination Marketing, led the branding advisory committee's development of the branding platform, process, and defining Fairfield's brand. Midway through the branding process, citing an opportunity to develop Fairfield's brand simultaneously with the tourism brand, the Bureau invited the City of Fairfield to partake in the branding and strategy and process. The branding strategy was revealed after months of research, analysis, and extensive consulting with residents, businesses, and community leaders and external customers through interviews, workshops, and a local public opinion survey. This partnership demonstrates a cohesiveness of our best effort of attracting visitors and highlighting what it means to live, study, and do business in Fairfield. The brand promise. The emotional benefits reflect how we want people to feel through their Fairfield experience. The Fairfield brand conveys and provides a sense of connection, enrichment, escape, healthier, success, and achievement and welcome. The Fairfield brand personality describes the characteristics and traits of Fairfield as if it were a person. The brand personality is creative, eclectic, entrepreneurial, genuine, hardworking, offbeat, open-minded, passionate, and quirky. The brand pillars are leading strengths and benefits that attract Fairfield's key audiences and underpin the delivery of our promise as a place to visit, live, study, and invest. The brand pillars are eclectic, creative, personal growth, and connected. The brand at a glance is to facilitate and support community-wide enhancement and understanding of the Fairfield brand. We have developed a brand at a glance. This piece simplifies and consolidates the important components of the brand, and we invite partnering organizations and residents to check it out. We will have copies at the center, and we will be available as a download at traveliowa.com. Now I'd like to introduce my partner in promoting Fairfield at the Bureau. Actually, I'm reading some of your material, am I not?
You're fine. You're fine.
Rustin, I'm going to invite you to come in and take over and give us a little bit more information about the branding process and invite Terry. Thanks.
Thanks. That's the best job I can do is when the mayor takes over for me. So I guess the one thing I want to say before I invite Terry up is the Fairfield brand statement, which is really what encapsulates the process that the mayor said started 18 months ago. We started with the assessment. Then we invited the city to participate in this branding because there was such cohesiveness. As we learned more about what makes Fairfield a great place to visit, we also identified that those are the same reasons that Fairfield's a great place to live in and to visit or to study and to do business. So when someone asks, what is Fairfield's brand? Our statement is that Fairfield provides Iowa's most creative and eclectic small community where visitors feel a sense of connection, enrichment, and escape. And through that process, and we met several times, and then we brought in the consultant from Oregon that is an expert in place branding. The process it became enjoyable. You know, what started as, oh my gosh, we're going to assess the community and then we're going to develop a brand. It really became fun to be part of this process. And the part that is really fun, you know, and people talk about a brand, they often think of a logo or a tagline or a jingle, but it's really everything. It's the emotional response that Ed talked about. It's the brand pillars that are the core values of Fairfield: eclectic, creative, personal growth, and connected. And now I'm going to introduce Terry because she gets the fun part. She's the graphics person, so we'll invite her up. We'll show you the brand marks, the logos, and the taglines. So Terry, it's your time.
So as you can imagine, once we went through this process of identifying all of these characteristics for Fairfield, we also had to figure out how we were going to graphically exhibit that. And it's something more than just creating a pretty logo. And I want to take you through the process that our designer went through in coming up with these particular graphics for us. You'll notice that we have the city's logo here, and on the other side is the Convention and Visitors Bureau logo. They are the same except for their taglines. And we were actually presented with 6 variations that we could select for logos once our designer went through everything. And this was the logo that we all fell in love with. And I'm going to take you through the process of what it symbolizes, because it's not just some pretty lettering with some dots and a tree on it. It has some meaning behind it. So the whole thing started with him taking the ideas that we're a creative community, we're a community that's connected, we're diverse, all of these different elements. And so it started with the concept of a tree, an apple tree, for example, that would bear fruit and be healthy. So that concept started the whole process. But then the little dots of color that you see here are indicative of an artist palette. The different colors, the different sizes, they overlap and they connect, which shows the connectivity of our community and the way the diversity works together. The designer also described this whole thing as, you could think of it as a tree, which he called the tree of inspiration, or you could think of it as a fountain where ideas and great entertainment starts to emanate from. So there's lots of different variations, interpretations of what the symbolism is. But that's the basic idea, is that it indicates diversity, it indicates creativity, it indicates connectivity between the various parts, networking and collaboration. Those were some of the dominant characteristics that were identified by our group as being characteristics of Fairfield. Then they used a very fun script for the word mark, but what he did is customize that font, creating the little spaces here. You see the little space here and the little space here. It just adds a little sense of quirkiness that every creative community would have. So it makes us look a little bit more out of the ordinary without being too strange. So we want to definitely have that kind of playful, fun element, creative element that Fairfield is known for. One of the things that's interesting about a brand is not something that we tell other people what we are. A brand is something that people already think that we are. And what we did with our group is solidify what everyone is thinking and then sort of wrap a fence around it and say, great, this is what we're going to actually promote and continue telling people what our community is about. The next piece that I want to point out is the taglines. The taglines, we came up with a variety of taglines. They were all tested by outside groups to see if they connected with the description of our community. And it became very clear that we needed two different taglines. The tagline for tourism is tune into our vibe. There was a very definite, dominant thought process that the vibe, the feeling of Fairfield was something unique, and it was something that visitors found intriguing when they come here. They definitely come here, they say there's something about Fairfield and the way it feels, the way the people are. So the vibe is really about how we as a small town bring together arts and culture, entertainment, diversity, networking, connection, how we bring all that together to create something that's very different from every other small town in Iowa. So that's the tune into our vibe has become the tagline for the tourism office. And Ed, are you going to talk about this one, the city?
I'd be happy to.
All right, so the city has something a little different. I'll let Ed talk about that.
Thank you, Terry. And I think Terry beautifully explained how we arrived at this and really how excited we all were when we got there. We really felt that this was representative and indicative. And with the city coming on as a partner at one junction point, we thought, well, I'm not sure government really puts off any other different vibe than any other government. So we've got to come up with a different tagline. So we came up with something that really represents, I think, the elements, again, as Terry explained, that people have an expectation, or it is what they experience here, that it is connect, create, and celebrate. The connection portion of it really is emblematic of both our entrepreneurial community, our ability to work together as a community to accomplish big projects together, the public-private partnerships, and also a place where there's great diversity and there's great reach out into national marketplaces. Create describes itself. We have a very artistically, culturally creative community, something that is very unique and something that defines us and something that we want to encourage. And then celebrate is something that we do, something that we all understand is a very important part of living and experiencing in our communities together, whether it's in our school system or our businesses or after hours. So we're very, very pleased to be able to utilize this. Now, a tagline will be used in certain instances when the city is promoting itself. In others, it will simply be the City of Fairfield. But we're very, very happy with this, and it'll give us an opportunity to start pulling a lot of these elements together also as we create new destination signage, wayfaring signage for our downtown, and it will tie into all of these very strong elements. So now I'd like to invite Rustin back to talk about our next steps.
So, telling Fairfield's story as a place to visit, live, locate a business, and study will be our focus as the Bureau introduces the brand. In addition to being used as the logo to identify the city and the Bureau, as Ed mentioned, we will incorporate that signage, incorporate our brand mark in banners, signage, and future wayfinding efforts. But from a tourism marketing standpoint, I'm excited because we're going to have a new, fresh approach to our digital, our social, and our traditional advertising efforts. And we'll be utilizing those keywords that were developed and came out of that branding process, and using the graphics that demonstrate what our brand is in our advertising. And we'll have different campaigns that support our brand. For example, only in Fairfield can you do X. or where else but Fairfield. That was really the message that came from our brand statement, was that we're Iowa's eclectic community. So it was a process that involved several different elements. It's a great example of the cohesiveness that was developed between the city and the tourism. And it's simply put, when we realized, as we looked through the process and participated, we realized if Fairfield is a great place to visit because of certain attributes, it's probably a great place to live as well. So that is why we brought that partnership together. That's why you see our brand marks similar, because there is a cohesive approach to marketing Fairfield as a place to live and marketing Fairfield as a place to visit. So thank you for joining us. Help us spread the word. Ed mentioned we have a brand at a glance. That is what we want to give our partners. We want to give residents. Is we want to see that local embracement of our brand, whether it be using our hashtag. We will have a hashtag that people are invited to use in their email signatures, on their event posters, in any type on their website. It's hashtag Fairfield Vibe. So from a social media standpoint, if we all tag with that hashtag Fairfield Vibe, it will begin to group our messages. And we all know if a message is multiplied, that message becomes stronger. So thanks for helping us spread the word that Fairfield's a pretty cool vibe. And as we like to say in tourism, tune into our vibe.
That's a good question.
Any questions?
Yeah, I'll get them later.
Sounds good.
This
Thank
is
you.
great. I want to make just one more point. Our efforts to make make Fairfield a tourism destination began in 2003 with the publication of the city's first strategic plan. And even though this particular branding exercise wasn't a formal goal of that process, it was something that was in the back of our minds. I'm not sure we felt we were mature enough to reach that far, but we've absolutely have reached it at this point, and we're very proud to have made it to this moment. The other is that the benefits are, when we looked at our mid-decade U.S. Census report, which showed that we had a 4.5% increase in population in Fairfield, we believe that can increase based on these kinds of activities to really show a unified, strong, positive message about the benefits of Fairfield. So thank you all again for coming very much. And again, thank you to Rustin and Terry for all of the work that they have done.